Hello, my friends. So Amberlynn uploaded her weigh-in, episode 4. So this schedule is lasting longer than I expected. Anything that takes a little bit of effort, she tends to give up on pretty quickly. So I know this is going to end soon, but I mean, kudos for lasting this long. Anyway, this is opening up about my health at 500 pounds. Something tells me this is just a nothing burger, you know. I think she's trying to hint that there's something going on, but even if there was something going on, she wouldn't tell us because she knows that if she came out and said, I have diabetes or I have, high blood pressure or something like that, or heart issues, that's all she'd hear about. So, let's just see what she has to say about her health. If you'd like to like and subscribe, that would literally be hectic. I'm not going to lie.
Hello. Welcome to a new weigh-in video. So today is Tuesday the 15th. Let's literally get right into the questions. Are you in a lot of pain at this size? I have always been big. Even as a kid, I was always the fattest one in the room. That has not changed now.
I mean, I guess she's trying to say that she's like used to it by now, but you're either in pain or you're not.
So this means I am used to my size. Like my muscles are like, I am used to this. So no, I don't have as much pain as what people probably think I have. I always catch people thinking I look uncomfortable or I look like I'm in pain, and it's
So yeah, I think right now her youth is doing all the heavy lifting for her. No pun intended. Pun very much intended. Because she's going to wake up one day, not too far in the future, and she is going to feel all of the pain. All of her joints are going to ache. All of her health issues are all going to catch up to her all at once. If she makes it to 40, then about that time, she's going to feel it. Right now, she has the benefit of youth, and that's why she's never actually taken weight loss seriously. Because what's the point, right? She's like, I don't feel bad. I don't feel all this pain, which I think she probably feels more than she lets on. And there's also probably a lot that she doesn't realize that nobody else feels. Right? There's probably a lot of discomfort that she feels that nobody else feels, but she's so used to it, she doesn't realize it's not normal. But I'm convinced that the only reason she has never taken weight loss seriously is because right now, there aren't really all that many consequences. Again, relatively speaking, she can just do what she wants because all she wants to do is just sit around and do nothing anyway. Her size limits her mobility and her ability to go on trips and actually do stuff in the world. But as far as her normal moment to moment life, it doesn't affect her all that much. So why would she change when she can eat what she wants, which is all she cares about, and continue to live the way she's always lived? But it is going to catch up to her. And by then it'll be too late. It will be so much more difficult for her to lose weight at that point than it is now. So all she's doing is making things worse for herself in the future by continuing this cycle.
It's like I don't feel those things. There have been times in my life, especially at my heaviest, where I had a lot of lower back pain due to my belly because
Well, and right now she doesn't feel a lot of lower back pain because she just sits all the time. She doesn't do anything.
my belly carries a lot of weight, so it's heavy. So especially at my heaviest, a lot of back pain. The most pain I do feel is when I'm grocery shopping. If I'm on my feet for an hour and a half, the heels on my feet do hurt. I mean, just imagine, I am over.
Yeah, okay. She says an hour and a half. I'm thinking more like 10 minutes. If she's on her feet for any period of time, she starts feeling it. I think her feet especially start hurting, and probably her knees too. So while I did say earlier that her youth is doing the heavy lifting and she doesn't feel a lot of the pain that she will feel, she absolutely does, right? She can't go through the grocery store or stand for, 5 or 10 minutes without feeling it. She says an hour and a half. I don't believe that for a second. And I think she still every once in a while will use a scooter when she's shopping. And if she doesn't, I think she uses the cart as kind of a walker. She just leans on the cart and uses that because my mom, here's a crazy story. My mom has had 3 hip replacements. And you might think, wait a minute. How? People only have 2 hips. One of them had been fused to where her femur was cracking. Yeah, I know, right? That hurt me to talk about it. So she's actually had 3 hip replacements. So she struggles to walk, and she's had both of her knees replaced and everything. So she struggles to walk, and she uses the cart as a walker. She has a cane most of the time, but when she goes to Walmart or Target or whatever, she loves it because she can put her cane up and just lean on the cart and use that as a walker. And I think that's what Amberlynn does.
For 500 pounds. I have very small feet.
She really does have some like weirdly small, stubby little feet and little tiny toes. It's really weird. You're welcome.
But for the most part, I'm not in really that much pain, no. As sad as this is, the pain is more mental and emotional.
Of course, she's in emotional distress, you guys. It's just so hard, you guys. But I think she feels more than she's letting on. But I still don't think it's nearly as much as she's going to be feeling here in a few years. And it's just going to hit her like a ton of bricks. All of a sudden, she's going to wake up and she's kind of done for at that point. She doesn't have the self-control or willpower to overcome when it's easy, relatively speaking, of course. I mean, obviously, weight loss is never easy. I just mean there are far fewer obstacles right now than there will be. So later, when she feels all that pain and all the health issues start creeping up, then yeah, she's not going to be able to handle that. When she hits 40, if she hits 40, things are going to go downhill for her fast.
What did you mean by I planned my whole day around this in your What I Ate Today video?
We all know what she meant by this. Nobody asked this. Well, and I'll just tell you right now. She supposedly counted the calories of that meal, right? And it was the sushi when she said, I planned my whole day around this meal. And that meant I've got 900 calories already down and everything else will be based around the fact that I'm eating 900 calories right now. And I think it was more than 900 calories, but that's what she meant, was that her whole day was based around the fact that she ordered that sushi.
So I think they're referring to this clip. All right, you guys, it is time for my first meal. I planned my whole day around this. So some days I like to plan my meals and some days I don't. If I know I'm going to order takeout for a certain day, or if I'm going to go out with my mom, whatever it may be, and I know that there's a certain meal that is a larger amount of calories, then that is the first thing that I log. So that I know, okay, this sushi is 900 calories. Now let me plan my meal around that. It wasn't that I was planning my day, like my activities and what I was doing around the sushi. It was just planning my meals around it.
Did you misunderstand that? Like I knew that she meant she was planning her entire, because to her, her day is what she eats, right? That's what she cares about. So when she says, I planned my day, to us, that sounds like, planning your activities and planning things that you're going to do for the day. But for her, it's what she's going to eat. So, I mean, it's basically the same thing, but for her, that is the most important thing, is how she can eat and when she can eat and what she can eat. And she can pretend like she planned everything around that meal, but she just eats what she wants. And then she lies to us and tells us that she's eating 2,600 calories. What's a misconception? Oh, yeah. Yeah, somebody definitely asked her about this. Who is she saying is asking this? Is she asking herself these? I mean, I know she is, but is she saying she's asking herself these? What's a misconception you hear about your edemas? So I'm going to guess she's going to say something about how much harder it is to lose weight, right? With edemas. Like, people think that I can lose weight eating 3,000 calories, but I can't. And then something about, I don't know, water weight or swelling and that kind of thing.
You hear about your lipedema or lymphedema. Without a doubt, there's two things. It's either how much harder it is for me to lose weight, which I'm not going to talk about that because I feel like I talk about that a lot. I'm going to talk about the fact of how much the swelling affects my body.
Heyo. There's no magic involved. It's obvious. Like, of course, that's what she's going to talk about.
And how much easier my body can move just overnight based on my swelling going down. A lot of people think that I'm exaggerating when I say that, like, wow, my breathing is so much better. My walking is so much better. My stamina is so much better. I waddle less when I walk, when I literally unswell. And sometimes that literally can just happen overnight.
I'm not sure how it would affect her breathing. That doesn't make much sense. Other than just your stamina. I mean, I can understand stamina, but I don't think that's what she meant by that, because then she also said it affects her stamina. But the problem is, she says that she feels better when she unswells, and really the only way to do that, from what I understand, is to change your diet and to eat the proper foods so that it kind of keeps the swelling under control, like low carb, high protein type diets to help reduce swelling, but she doesn't do that, right? If she says she feels so much better when she unswells, you would think that she would actually take some time and really focus on eating a proper diet for those things so that she would feel better all the time. But she can't. Eating the things that she wants when she has a craving is far more important than being comfortable or, not being in pain. Which, that's pain, At the beginning, she was like, I'm not in pain. I'm like really rarely ever in pain. After I walk for like an hour and a half straight, which, are you buying the idea that she walks around Walmart for an hour and a half? First of all, she gets everything delivered. And second of all, even if she does go, she will go for like 15 or 20 minutes, and I'm not even talking about like how long she can walk without pain. I'm just saying she doesn't want to be there any longer than she has to be. But yeah, the Dema's pain is part of that question, right? Are you in pain? If you're in pain because of swelling, then guess what? You're in pain. So you should have said yes.
People think I'm exaggerating, and I promise I'm not. I am so much more mobile when I'm not swollen. When I am swollen, it is a lot harder for me to get around. What makes it harder for me to get around is my skin is tighter. It reduces my range in motion around my joints, my ankle.
I mean, yeah, we figured that. Did anybody really think that being more swollen wouldn't affect her mobility? Like, what does she mean by people think she's exaggerating? Like, maybe people don't think it's as bad as she says or something, but yeah, we assume that if your legs are swollen, that it's harder to walk. Like, obviously.
Just everywhere. Genuinely, it makes my legs feel like cement, like big concrete cements. And that's why I...
Big concrete cements, you guys. We got 2 cements, one on the left and one on the right. 2 cements. And you'd think that having 2 cements would make her want to adjust her diet to where she didn't have legs that felt like cements all the time.
I waddle more. It's harder to move my legs. And when I'm swollen, I am more lethargic. I have less energy. I get more tired. And due to the fluid just being everywhere around my body, it makes my breathing...
I think that counts as the water weight too. I think I nailed every single part of this because I think that I'm going to count that as water weight.
A lot worse. So when I become less swollen, it is because I'm actively losing weight. So if I step on the scale and I see that I'm down 6 pounds, because that was what I said last week, when I was like, yeah, I was down 6 pounds, I was walking around the casino and I felt so much better. And people were like, how does she notice a 6 pound difference in her body at that size? It's because all of those things I just named to you, they diminish and they get less extreme.
So I think what she's doing here and what she did last time when she said that losing 6 pounds made a huge difference is she's overplaying how much losing 6 pounds really does for her, right? And I think the reason she's doing this is because she knows she's never going to lose a significant amount of weight. So she has to make it seem like every single pound is a big victory. All right, so in the future, she can say, I'm down 6 pounds again. Woo! Like, that's a big deal. Now, I don't doubt that losing, 6 pounds probably helps a little bit with the swelling and stuff like that. But no, she's making it seem like it's a huge deal because it has to be for her. She needs it to be a huge deal because that's really the only deal she's ever going to get are these little small victories.
So when I'm not as swollen, what is happening? It is improving my lymph flow to my body, which then in return makes it easier for me to move. I become more flexible. I'm able to keep up more with everyone else. My breathing gets better. And that cement feeling for when I am swollen, that goes away almost completely when the swelling goes away. Like all of these things become so detrimental when I'm swollen. And then when I lose that swelling, my body becomes more loose and my lymph flow is happening and I feel it. It's like you can only...
I think what she meant to say was like they become so much more pronounced, so much more obvious or whatever. I mean, I guess detrimental kind of works there because it is detrimental to have cements for legs.
Understand if you had this disease. People comparing their body to mine, saying, I don't notice a 6 pound loss because you don't have this illness. You don't have this disease, and be grateful for that. When I lose 6 pounds, yeah, sure, it's water weight.
Now, I know she has some funky legs, like no doubt she does. But are we absolutely sure that she has been diagnosed with the demas? Because she's claiming that she has been diagnosed with both lipedema and lymphedema. So I Googled, how common is it to be diagnosed with lipedema and lymphedema? I found an article on this page that's talking about lipedema and stuff. And it says lymphedema, lipedema, and even simple obesity in extremities can resemble each other superficially and are often confused for one another, but they differ in important ways. So I've been looking at just some information about lipedema and lymphedema. And apparently it's not terribly uncommon for people to have, like if you have one, to then also have the other. And that is called lipolymphedema or lipolymphedema. And that's where you have both conditions. And from what I've read, and I've read a bunch of articles just kind of in passing, right? I've just kind of skimmed some of them and they're kind of boring, so I'm not going to read them all. But it seems as though, like, if you have one or the other, there are some treatments you can do and some, diet changes you can do and things like that. But if you have both, apparently it's pretty extreme and you need some extreme treatments to treat both. And I don't hear Amberlynn talking about any kind of treatments for her demas, right? She doesn't even follow the dietary guidelines that you're supposed to, if you have those, to keep it from becoming, cements, to keep it from swelling and stuff. So if she has lipolymphedema, she is doing a piss poor job of taking care of it. So then that makes me wonder if she actually has it at all, because it says lipedema can be confused with lymphedema, but it also says it can be confused for simple obesity. And I think that's both directions, where it's like if you're overly obese, you can be misdiagnosed with lipedema, or if you have lipedema, you can be misdiagnosed as just having simple obesity. So I just think the fact that she could just be obese, right? It could have nothing to do with lipedema or lymphedema. And she's not talking about any treatments, because for a fact that if she was doing any kind of treatments for lipolymphedema, which is what she should be calling it, because that's what it is, she would be talking about it. She would be telling us about it, about all the compression things that she's doing and the diet that she's changing and stuff like that. But she doesn't do anything for them. So that, on top of the fact that it can be confused with just obesity, makes me wonder if she's ever actually been diagnosed. So to get diagnosed with lymphedema, there are a lot of processes you have to go through at the doctor. The medical exam, imaging tests, bioimpedance spectroscopy, lots of different procedures. I don't know, man. It isn't adding up for me. I'm wondering if she's actually been officially diagnosed. Now, we can look at her legs and assume that she has the demas, right? It just sort of looks like that because they're weird. That doesn't mean necessarily that they are, because it can actually just be simple obesity. So I wouldn't put it past her to have heard somebody say lipedema or lymphedema at some point because they saw her legs. And then she kind of looked into it and was like, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds like me. And just started saying that she's been diagnosed.
But at the same time, I'm not just losing 6 pounds of water weight, which to a normal person, that's all that would be happening. I'm also improving the flow of my lymph, my fluids. I lose more fluids. I gain more flexibility.
The flow of my lymph? Okay. Well, color me surprised. I said, does lymph flow? And it says, yes, lymph does flow through the lymphatic system. Okay. You know what? Credit where it's due. She said a thing that's correct. But this whole spiel of hers, this whole thing about the lymphedema and lipedema, sounds like she just Googled it. And she's kind of just reciting what she's learned. So I don't know. I don't think she is undergoing any kind of treatment. I don't think she's doing anything, because I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, even if she does have it, I just don't think she's been officially diagnosed with it.
And motion, and my skin's not as tight. Like, the list can go on and on. So what I'm saying is, it's not the 6 pounds that I'm feeling. It's the symptoms of my lipedema and lymphedema that get better and improve when I am actively losing weight. That is what I'm talking about. So to the average person, to hear me say, oh, I felt so much better after losing 6 pounds, yeah, that's a pretty vague statement. So when you hear me just say that, it's like, girl, what are you talking about? Because I don't sit there and tell you guys about all of the symptoms that actually become less problemsome when I'm
Problemsome. And she is going for a stupidity medal in this one. But I just think that she heard it, lipedema and lymphedema. And I think she just decided that sounds like me and has used that as an excuse for everything. Because think about it. Every time she starts losing weight, she always says, you know, it's going to be harder for me because of my demas. My lipedema and lymphedema make it harder for me to lose weight. And what you think would be a normal amount of calories for me to lose weight, it's just not that way because I'm special and unique and different than you.
on track and when I'm losing weight. And sad reality is, as easy as it is for me to feel better, it's also really easy for those symptoms to flare up again and get worse again, even by things that like are normal to the average person.
Or are they because of your choices?
Like sitting in the car for too long or just walking and being on my feet for an hour. All of those symptoms can come back.
I mean, okay, but overall, if you changed your diet and actually did some work and did what you were supposed to do, you could get it under control and the flare-ups wouldn't happen nearly as much.
Even if I am on track, because gravity, when my legs are down, my legs become swollen. It's a lot. Lipedema and lymphedema has been detrimental to my life, and it is very confusing and hard to explain to a bunch.
And this right here.
Lipedema and lymphedema has been detrimental to my life.
That is why I think that she would see those things and claim them without being diagnosed. Now, I'm not saying that she did. I don't know. But the reason behind it would be that very sentence, just so that she can say something is detrimental to her life.
A bunch of people who like don't understand it. And if you do research, not even a lot of doctors understand it as well. Are you eating food alone at bingo or does your mom eat with you? So lately,
Oh, come on. Nobody's asking that. Because we know what she's going to say. It doesn't matter what's actually happening. She's going to say that her mom's eating with her. She's going to say everybody's eating with her. I love that the opening up about my health really revolved around the demas. That was like the main focus of this video. But yeah, what a dumb question. Nobody asked that. I think she asked this to herself just so that she could say, I'm not the only one eating. Everybody's eating. Okay.
lately I've been going to bingo with my mom, my stepdad, and my friend. And we all eat food there and we all eat the same things. Almost everyone at bingo eats.
This friend. Also, if we were playing Amberlynn bingo, I think if you had Duper's Delight on one of your squares, I think you could dauber that sucker because this looks an awful lot like Duper's Delight when she's talking about her friend. And everybody eating. This mysterious friend that, if you'll remember, she has never mentioned that I can think of in front of her mom. If this person exists, right, it's probably just like her mom's friend that tags along with her mom, because I just don't think Amberlynn has a friend that goes to bingo with her, or it's some old lady that's just there all the time. But I don't think this person exists.
Eats or they have their drinks there because there's a snack bar at every single bingo hall, which gets into the next question which was actually asked from the same person that just asked that last one.
And of course, just like I said, she said everybody gets the food there at the bingo hall and we all eat it together. So yeah, it's not just me. I'm not the only one eating. And that may be true, but I mean, it's bingo hall food, right? So I can't imagine all of them being real excited to eat bingo hall food. I mean, maybe it's awesome. Maybe I'm missing out on some really amazing cuisine at Oklahoma City Bingo Hall. But I can also see them not all wanting to eat like she does.
Can you bring your own food to bingo? No, you are not allowed to bring your own food. You're not allowed to bring your own drinks. Everything that you consume in there has to be bought from the bingo hall. All right, guys, now let's talk about the goals I had last.
You know, the way she said that, it almost sounded like she thought that was kind of a unique thing, like that was unusual. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it kind of sounds like she doesn't get out much, you know, like she's so sheltered that she doesn't understand that that's just the way things are pretty much everywhere. You know, like you can sneak food into movie theaters and stuff like that, but generally speaking, if a place serves food, you can only eat their food. They don't allow outside stuff. So she explained that like it was some interesting tidbit that most people wouldn't know. Like it was really informative. Like, yeah, that's the way most places work. So yeah, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it kind of sounded like something somebody would say who's not really ever been out much. But of course, she asked herself, do you eat by yourself? Just so that she can say, no, everybody eats. Even my friend, you know, my really good, awesome friend that loves me a lot. They're my best friend.
Last week, and did I succeed in them? So my first goal was to order takeout and have it delivered to my home only 3 times a week. And my second goal was to have a better weekend than I did before.
Okay, so remember, she had to specify have it delivered because the takeout, like the food, like the actual like takeout food was not the deal. It was just the delivery that she was cutting out. Because of course, it can't just be a positive change, right? It has to be some sort of, you know, complex rule so that she can continue eating what she wants to eat. And then I like how vague it is, just, did I do better? And I'm guessing the measurement of what's better will be a little obscure.
So for the takeout, I ordered Hawaiian on Wednesday, McDonald's on Thursday, and Indian on Sunday. So that's 3 times. So I was successful in that goal yet again. So I have been successful in that goal every single week so far. So my second goal of have a better weekend than I did before, I chose that because the Sunday was horrific and I overate on my calories and I just really did not want that to happen. So was I successful? I was. Yes, I was. So on Sunday, I ordered Indian food and I actually ate that throughout the day. And that was all that I ate. Because when you order Indian,
no, I just don't believe it. I just don't believe that she is eating the amount that she says she's eating. Because she always says that she's eating 2,600 calories or she's doing really good. Now, every once in a while, she'll throw in oh yeah, Sunday I ate a bunch of calories. I ate like 4,000 calories on that one Sunday. But if that were the case, if she was only eating over her calories one day a week, she wouldn't be here. She's lying.
Indian, they give you a lot of food, especially when you order vegetable biryani. So I was able to split that for 3 meals. And then on Saturday with my family, we actually went out to eat to a burger joint and I got a freaking salad. Everyone got burgers. And then one of my cousins actually got these like spicy wings. And I was like, oh my God, that looks so good. But the fact that I chose to get like a really good salad instead.
Here's the thing about salad. I know that like your first thought is that salads are healthy and low calorie. And if you eat salad the right way, it is low calorie. But I guarantee you she didn't. I would bet my bottom dollar that whatever salad she got was covered in some kind of dressing and had a bunch of like bacon and all kinds of other crap in it. Or, you know, I don't know what kind of salad it was. But a salad that a lot of people think is healthy is just as many calories as a burger. You know, you can get like the salads at fast food places and things like that. And it ends up being 800 or 900 calories because of all the extra crap they put on it and all the dressing and all that stuff. It ends up being a lot of calories. So just the fact that it was a salad doesn't mean jack shit.
Instead of a burger with fries, it didn't make me feel like I was being controlled by food. It didn't make me feel powerless, which around food, sometimes I do feel like that. So yay, I was successful in both goals. So now I have only one goal for this coming week. So I have a meal plan for this week and I want to follow it 5 days out of the 7. But I will tell you guys next week if I did it. All right, let's talk about how my week went.
It's all just bullshit anyway, all right? None of this matters. Because even if, which I don't think she is, but even if she did stick with this structure for a while, it's not going to last. She's going to go right back to where she was before. And if she was really as successful as she always claims to be, she would have lost a significant amount of weight by now. Just guaranteed, she would have. So the fact that she is still gaining weight and, you know, even when she fluctuates, she always ends up back over 500 pounds, that shows that she is just lying. So none of this matters. She can come up with all the arbitrary, stupid goals she wants to. Like, her goal this time was follow her meal plan 5 of the 7 days. The meal plan doesn't mean jack squat if you don't know what you're doing. I have a meal plan to eat ice cream for 3 meals a day. Just because I'm following that meal plan doesn't mean I'm going to be successful in weight loss.
I counted all my calories and I did not go over at all. So Noom wants me to eat between 2,600 to 3,400. So out of the 7 days, I ate below the 2,600 5 days out of the 7, but then there were 2 days where I ate below the 3,400. So I do weigh in daily because Noom wants you to do that. And I have been enjoying it. Like, it hasn't been bothering me, seeing the fluctuations. I know that like the second week, no matter what diet I'm doing, I never lose that much weight. I could be counting calories. I could be doing Weight Watchers. I could be doing Jenny Craig. This has happened on semaglutide, Ozempic. Like, it literally doesn't matter. So when the scale was going like this the whole week, I was like, okay, this is the second week. That's usually exactly what happens because this was the second week of me doing Noom. So,
and again, she can say this all she wants. We've been here before. She acts like she knows what she's doing, like she's figured it out. It's clicked, you guys. It's finally clicked this time. It's clicked about 25 times at this point. So, yeah, she's counting calories today, which again, I think she's lying. I think she's eating more than she's saying. Whether she's lying to us or to herself or both, I don't know. But she's definitely lying. And it's not going to last anyway. Even if she was telling the truth, even if she really did eat 2,600 calories for 5 days and then, not much over that for 2 more days, it doesn't matter. It's all going to disappear shortly when she gets right back to where she was before and she just starts eating what she wants. And honestly, I think she might stick with it a little longer than usual right now because she's trying to find a caretaker. But once she finds somebody, she's going to let herself go. She doesn't care. And after a certain amount of time, if she doesn't find a caretaker, she's going to give up anyway. So
anyways, let's get into my weigh-in. Last week, I was 518.0, and today I was... Is this going to be a new thing? I have to do drums every time before I tell you guys my weight. Today I was 517.0. So that means I'm only down a pound, but I am genuinely okay with that.
I mean, I think that clip...
So that means I'm only down a pound, but I am genuinely okay with that.
Should just sum Amberlynn up 100%. I was 518 pounds last week. This week, I was 517, and I'm okay with that. You shouldn't be.
I just got to keep trucking, got to keep doing my thing, got to keep paying attention to what I'm eating and making those better choices. Anyways, I hope that you guys did enjoy this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
I mean, that's kind of the whole problem, though, right? If you could just watch what you're eating and make better choices, you wouldn't be here. This is so wild that she has convinced herself that that's all she needs to do. Just make good choices. Continue to make good choices, she says. She lost 1 pound. She is 517 pounds, probably more than that, but we'll just take her word on that for now. She lost 1 pound at over 500 pounds, and she says, yeah, I'm doing fine. All I need to do is just keep making better choices.
I just got to keep trucking, got to keep doing my thing, got to keep paying attention to what I'm eating and making those better choices.
What the fuck is happening? Like, I'm not surprised, but every time she acts like this, it's still shocking. It is still so just baffling that she really thinks, yeah, I'm just going to make good choices. That's all I need to do. I got it figured out. This time, I know exactly what to do. What a dingus. Nothing's ever going to change until she becomes not okay with just losing a pound, right? She just has convinced herself that any progress is good progress. When she does that, when she convinces herself that any progress is good progress, then that gives her the ability to excuse bad eating habits, But here's the thing. The fact that she lost 1 pound is absolute 100% proof that she did not eat 2,600 calories all week. There is no way on earth that she would maintain, basically, because a 1 pound when you're over 500 is maintaining, right? There's no way she would have only lost 1 pound if she had been eating 2,600 calories. Even with the Demas, even if that was true, if she actually has the Demas, that's just not possible. Like, sorry. I eat 2,500 calories, right? Like my amount of exercise, because I jog for a little bit every day, and I allot myself 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day to maintain at my current weight. So Yeah, no, I just don't buy it. I don't buy that she ate that much. And the fact that she thinks people will believe that she can eat 2,600 calories a day and lose 1 pound, she's delusional or she's just an idiot. So here's the big problem, right? With all of this is there are people in her audience that do believe her. She influences them. And so they see that she's saying she only ate 2,600 calories and she only lost 1 pound. And that affects the way they look at their own weight or their own diet. So they look at her and they say, man, if she can only eat 2,600 calories and only lose 1 pound, then there's no point in me trying, you know? Yeah, it's just a shame that she is as influential as she is, and she is just lying. She is spreading misinformation about diet and weight loss. You would assume that most people would be able to look at Amberlynn and realize maybe she's not the one to take like weight loss advice from. But what she's spreading is apathy. She is okay losing 1 pound. And so if she's okay with it, then these young people in her audience are like, well, I don't really care. And they may not be as lucky as her, and they may end up getting diabetes or a heart condition or all kinds of things that go along with being obese. And it could be in part due to listening to her. When Amberlynn is so wrong about almost everything she says, that's kind of dangerous. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.